Hey everybody, what's up? Erik here from Mad 8 Productions again. And I'm sure if you collect for the NES like I do, a lot of times you have that problem where you pop a game in, push the power button, and all you get is a blue flashing screen. Or the red power light just blinks. And a lot of times we just chalk that up to a crappy pin connector and we do all kinds of crazy voodoo and eventually the game works. But what if the pin connector actually wasn't the problem? What if your NES actually has a virus? Maybe you need the NES Virus Cleaner. So here's a closer look at the game NES Virus Cleaner. And this was a homebrew game that was released in 2011, published by Airwalk Studios and developed by Sly Dog Studios. And I like this right here. It says clean systems of all known viruses and ensure system is running at peak performance. Then it's got the little asterisk. And then if you read the small print, it says does not actually clean system of all known viruses and does not actually ensure system is running at all. So it has this little tagline and then immediately has a disclaimer saying it doesn't actually do with the, but we get it, it's a joke. But I like the artwork on here. You got this is the main character, his name's Click, and we'll see him in a few minutes in the gameplay footage. But like I said, homebrew game released in 2011. I believe only 45 cartridges of this were produced. So there's not a lot of copies of this out there. But fortunately, the ROM for this game has been released for free by the developer, and you can go to Sly Dog Studios' website and download the ROM for free. And I'll put a link down there to the description of it because once you see the gameplay footage, you're going to want to go download the ROM. Let's take a look at some of the gameplay now.
So the nice thing about this game is because it was only available in the cart, it kind of gives you a little instruction manual how to play kind of thing here right at the beginning. It is quite long though, so I'll just give you the Reader's Digest version of the instructions and everything, and if you don't know what Reader's Digest is, ask your parents about it. It's something they used to read on the toilet back in the day. Anyways, the basic gist of the game is you want to go around, collect the viruses, avoid the bad things. You get 50 points for every virus you collect, but you lose 100 points every time you die, every time you run into a bad thing. You also have a teleporter that you can set anywhere, and you can hit the A button to zap right back to that teleporter again, but that costs you 1,000 points. Now you start each level with 10 seconds on the clock. If the time on the clock runs out, that's game over. So each virus you collect adds some time to the clock. So it's a pretty fun game. To me, it very much feels like a black box game, but let's go ahead and skip to the title screen. And here's the title screen with the 2011 copyright date by Sly Dog Studios. And first thing you're going to notice is this title screen music is pretty rad, and that's going to be a common theme throughout this game for sure. It has great music. That's one of my favorite things about this game. And here we get a little briefing on what we're doing, and it's kind of cool. The game's broken down into sections, so you kind of go to different parts of the NES motherboard and clean up the viruses. And each section it'll add new enemies. So this first section, first couple of levels, we just have the horizontal sparks that we have to avoid. Pretty simple stuff, this level. Each virus you collect will add 3 seconds down to the clock in the lower left, and then the number on the lower right is how many viruses you have left in this level to clean up. And then any time you have left over at the end of the level gets added to your score. So it is basically a single screen arcade game where you're going for a high score, which are some of my favorite games. Let's skip ahead to the next section, and you'll see now it's going to add a vertical spark. And like I said, love the music in this game. This is great, this level music. And the music changes kind of every 4 levels or so, so each section has 4 levels. And then there's a final level that's a boss level, and the music is just great throughout this game. Now when you die, you respawn at the last point where you picked up a virus, and that can really screw you up if you keep dying and appearing on the opposite side of the screen where you need to be. So definitely part of your strategy is, if you die, being able to make up for that quickly. And you see the levels just get more and more complex. Now this level is one of the levels where I start dropping the transporter. And you'll see why it'll be worth 1,000 points to just dip over there and be able to quickly pick up another virus. You want to keep adding to your clock down there so you have a cushion. I think this is one of the more creative homebrew games that I've ever seen. The difficulty really ramps up as you get into the later levels too, which adds to a lot of replayability. It's something you definitely it's addicting, and you find yourself coming back to over and over again to play. I love that enemy name, Arbitrary Movement Spark. But this is cool. Like I said, each of these are actual chips and parts of the NES motherboard. Now this music's even crazier, but I do like this music still. And the difficulty again really ramps up here, especially with the flashing colors in these levels, in these later levels. It makes it hard to focus on what you're doing. I don't know if that was intended to add to the difficulty, but it does add to the difficulty, but I think it does in a good way. Like I mentioned earlier, I definitely feel like this kind of fits in with the rest of the black box, you know, single screen arcade kind of games. I'm kind of skipping around too because I don't want to show you all the levels. I don't want to spoil stuff. Now you can see here when the time runs low, that screen starts flashing like that, and that makes it really difficult. And when the time runs out, it's game over, and you get your final score at the end. And then the game just resets back to the title screen. So like I said, this is definitely an awesome game. I'm going to put a link down to the ROM down below so anybody can download this and play this on an emulator. The developer has made the ROM available for free. You can also seek out a cartridge of this game, but like I stated earlier in the review, I believe there was only 45 cartridges made, so you're going to be hard-pressed to find one. And I have to imagine the people that do have them are not going to want to give them up because this game is so great. Anyways, I'm going to play some more of NES Virus Cleaner. Thanks for watching. Hey guys, thanks again for checking out my review of this rad as hell NES Homebrew game. If you got a few minutes, why don't you click on one of the thumbnails there and check out one of my other videos. That thumbnail in the top left corner is actually a video I did with Grimster Gaming over on his channel. He has an awesome series where he tours game rooms and stuff, so he came over, did an interview with my buddy Mark and I, and did a tour of my game room in the garage arcade, so definitely go check that out and give his channel a subscribe. Also, you can check out one of my retro video game reviews there, or you can check out one of the episodes of our new Retro Sports Gaming Network series. Also, don't forget to hit those like and subscribe buttons and check out the social media crap there. And also, I just found out that you can't click on the thumbnails on mobile devices, so I will add links to the videos shown in the thumbnails down in the description. And as always, thanks again for watching.